Hey there guys, how's it going? And welcome to a video where I want to share with you some of my thoughts on what DayZ and maybe other survival games could do to make them that little bit better. Now, hardcore survival games have kind of taken the gaming world by storm recently. It's a new genre obviously ever since DayZ. I mean, technically Minecraft is a survival game, but hardcore survival meaning permadeath if you take a death. So games like DayZ, Rust, and we've got H1Z1 which will be coming out soon, the WarZ even. Games like this are something that I think is definitely going to be one of the next big things, although it already is, but it's a genre that I think is going to continue to grow. However, with each new release that comes out, there's a lot of things that frustrate people. Even though they still enjoy this kind of hardcore survival idea, there's a lot of things in the game that wind people up. Now obviously DayZ is still in alpha, but let's be honest, this isn't going to be too different from the main game, and it's going to be a long time before any significant changes happen. There are a lot of problems with it, but what I'm going to suggest are things that are kind of just a totally different approach. So these aren't things that they should put in DayZ, I would say, but this is something I think that it would be great if some developer could do or apply. Obviously I haven't got the ability to make my own game, I'm not a coder or programmer or anything like that, but feel free to take these ideas if you are doing mods, program, making games, because I think that this is something, some ideas that would really help if there was a game out there in this genre that had these things to them, because a lot of people are really into survival, hardcore survival should I say, but they feel like each game doesn't quite hit the nail on the head for what they're looking for. So I've got a few ideas, because obviously a lot of them kind of take influence DayZ and then do their own thing, but in my opinion what someone should do, or even these existing games, is should take a slightly different look at it. Now at the moment with these games, the idea is normally you spawn in, you have nothing, you collect stuff, and then you either just walk around and collect more stuff, or you kind of look for PvP, things like that. I mean obviously there's not too much end game in these things, and that's something that needs to be addressed, but I thought, wouldn't it be cool if each time you spawned in, you didn't have to spawn as that survivor that has nothing, and not even that, you could choose the kind of survivor you were going to be. Because as you guys know, I play a ton of DayZ, over 280 hours in the standalone, and I played the mod for a year. And I've kind of got a little bit bored of it. I mean, I love it still and I will still play it, but the whole, you know, there's not enough change at the moment to really keep me interested, and I think this would really change it up for me. So every time at the moment you spawn in DayZ, in similar games you spawn in as basically the same character. They might look a little different, but they always have generally the same stuff on them. What I thought might be interesting is when you spawn in, if you can choose from a selection of characters to spawn as, and each different character has a different set of abilities. So as you are now, say if you play DayZ, you spawn in and you can do anything. As long as you get the right tool or the right food or the right weapon, you can use the weapon, you can eat the food, you can use medical supplies, bloody blah. But for my kind of idea, what I was thinking is when you choose when to spawn in, you could choose to spawn in as either a medic or a soldier or a chef or a hunter, crafting expert, something that has certain set abilities which are going to allow you to be stronger in one thing and not another. Now this also means that you're going to need to work with other people to be able to learn their abilities, or even if you can't learn them, to do certain things you'll need everyone's abilities. This automatically gives you a reason not to kill everyone, because you're not going to need to take advantage of what they can do. So say for example you wanted to choose the medic character. The medic character would start off with a small backpack, it has some medical supplies in, just bandages, basic stuff that a medic would have, but it also has the ability to use all the medical stuff, the more advanced things, blood bags, saline. Not everyone can use them unless you're a medic, but if you didn't choose medic and you'd like to use those things, you either have to pair up with a medic and find one in the world somewhere, or you can learn these abilities by reading books in the game. You find books and then learn a new skill, or maybe if you rank up you can unlock a new skill for your character. Say for instance you want to be a soldier character. Now that sounds well and good because you want to be able to use weapons. Say for example if you're not a soldier, you can't use any military grade weapons, all just things like real basic rifles and pistols. But if you're a soldier, you can use the automatic assault rifles, sniper rifles, anything that obviously a soldier will be able to do, you could do. Now, what this would mean, say for example, if you were a soldier, you would spawn in with kind of combat stuff that a soldier would have, certain camouflage maybe, not so much guns, but the ability to be able to use guns. And maybe if you were a soldier in the military areas of this world, say there was a world that existed for this game, in the military areas, only soldiers could actually unlock, say, weapon stashes. You'd find a weapon stash, and in there would be high-end guns. But if you weren't a soldier or you didn't have the soldier training, you couldn't get to those weapons. So it would stop also the whole idea of, right, let's just go here and get this. Let's all head up to the military loot and grab it all. You know, you can't do all that stuff unless you either are a soldier, you've learnt the soldier abilities, or you go with someone who is a soldier. So like I said before, these kinds of ideas open up the idea to not killing everyone on sight, especially if you're a lone wolf. You want to group up with people. And say, for example, a medic could then teach a soldier. So if you saw someone who is obviously a medic, I would say, just for example, medics wore certain things, so did soldiers. Chefs, for example. Chefs would be someone who could actually make more advanced food that would give you more nutrition. Everyone can eat an apple or banana that they find on the floor, but if you're a chef, then you're able to combine things and cook things, which will give you a ton more nutrition ability. So you could survive if you weren't a chef and eat food, but if you were a chef, you would have absolutely no problems when it comes to food. You could make recipes out of barely anything and so on. So I'd say you could tell by the look of someone what kind of character they are. So when you saw someone, if you don't have, say, the chef's ability and you see a chef, your first thing isn't thinking, let's kill them. Your first thought is, oh, hang on, this guy, if I pair up with him, he will be able to help us both survive. Or if I pair up with him, then maybe the chef can teach you somehow. If you spend enough time with them, I don't know, say for every 30 minutes you spend grouped up, like when you see someone, you could put them in your group. For every half an hour you're grouped with them, they'll be able to give you one ability point that you can go towards learning recipes or whatever their ability is. Say someone is really good at crafting. So another character type could be someone, I don't know the word would be, but someone who can craft things. So you could be a medic or a chef or a soldier, but if you become the crafting person, then you're going to be able to make quite advanced things out of all of the basic loot that is in the game. So also to help with this, I think the idea that loot would be more difficult to find would be better, because at the moment it's, you know, it wouldn't quite work. Things would have to be difficult to find, otherwise there'd be no real point in this, and wouldn't much encouragement to team up. And another thing that I think, obviously, is I think for every built-up area that you went to, say, let's use the DayZ example because that's the kind of most common one and most similar to the kind of game that I'm talking about here. In DayZ, there is several places to go to get basically all the loot you would ever need. I would say there's about 15 places in DayZ where you can get most loot. Now, I think in terms of server numbers, I don't think the bigger the server, the better. I don't think the more people, the better. But I think on average, for every place that you go to, there should be an average of 2 to 3 people in that place. So say there's 10 places on the map where people are probably going to go. I think that should mean that it would be a 30-person server. Maybe have a bit less space in between things. Obviously, have certain things only in certain areas so people are more spread out. One of the problems with DayZ at the moment is no one goes off the coast. There's absolutely nothing that you would need that's not on the coast, and that's where all the people are. So there's no real reason to go off the coast. Even in DayZ mod it wasn't like that, because there was military weapons at the airfield, there was helicopter crashes all over the map in the north, so it was a bit better. But I obviously think that is something that should be done. Now, zombies in this game that I'm proposing, I think could be a thing. Personally, I'm not too worried about zombies. I just like the idea of general survival in an apocalypse. Say everyone got killed but a few people. It doesn't have to be a zombie infection that killed everyone. It could have just been whatever, an infection that doesn't turn them into zombies. So I mean, I think zombies could be a thing, but if you do have zombies, I like the zombies in Breaking Point on Arma 3. They're very slow, but there's lots of them, and if you go into an area where there is a lot of them, they're going to do you some serious damage. So they're not really, you know, if you get one running after you, you can run away from it. I think that should be a thing. Maybe 1 in every 10 zombies is a faster one that you'll really have to deal with. But in general, I just think more zombies that are slower, but obviously more of a threat because there's more of them. For instance, instance, if you want to go into a town or a place there's going to be a lot of stuff, there's going to be at least 30 to 40 zombies. You don't really want to walk among them because you might get trapped somewhere or something like that. Now, DayZ kind of says that it is an MMO now. It has that kind of, I think they even said that they see it as an MMO. And if you're going to be an MMO game, and I think survival games should be MMO in a way, then why not take influences from MMOs? Why not have it so that you can do quests? And the idea of NPCs and quests is a bit cheesy for a hardcore survival game and a bit sci-fi, but maybe you could have something in there. Maybe in certain buildings you could find a note that would give you a plan of things you need to collect that would then allow you to make something that could turn on the power for something, and then if you turn on the power, then that's going to change something in the map. Just some general things you can do with people. I know there are some DayZ mods that have things like that, like turning on the power in certain towns, but more things like that in the game that I would really love, I definitely think were cool. Also, I kind of like the idea of an ever evolving world, or if not an ever evolving world, a world that's not the same layout every time. Now for me, I know the DayZ map off by heart, so it's easy for me to get around, and then once you get to that point, it becomes very dull in terms of where you go, where you're going to go, the same old places, the same old towns, you know exactly what's going to be where. But the problem is with DayZ is if you don't have that, then you have no idea where to go. I personally would like to see a Minecraft style world developed for each one. I don't know exactly how that would run, because you'd have to have individual servers, and then each world that was created was slightly different. It would be extremely complex, don't get me wrong. Some of these ideas I'm throwing out there are probably ridiculously difficult to actually implement, and obviously I'm no programmer, but I'm just throwing some ideas out there. And obviously let me know your comments of the ideas that I've put out, and let me know what you think. So also on top of this, I think that a hardcore survival game, it should have some sort of ranking up and achievement system, something that's not really in the survival games at the moment, something that's not too kind of make you a bandit. Obviously there should be some bandit style achievements, but achievements for things like blood bagging people, grouping up with someone for more than 10 minutes, things that encourage actual player interaction, because I do think there should be PvP in these games. It absolutely makes something really exciting. But also, when you meet someone and you want to be friendly with them, there needs to be some advantage to that. I see people in DayZ now, and they're a lot more friendly people, especially if they're new. And I see them, and I'm like, okay, so now what? You know, there's no advantage to me hanging out with them other than they're a danger for me because they might attract more attention or not know what they're doing. Whereas in this game that I've kind of, this game concept that I've put forward, there would be a reason for me to pair up with new people. I could see they had different stuff. I could see that I needed their abilities and whatever. Obviously, a lot of this stuff would need padding out. There's obvious issues with my ideas here, but let me know what you think. Put comments in the comment section down below, and let me know if you think this is a good idea. Tweet it or like it to people you think might actually be able to do something like this. And my final thing is, I think that you should be able to have, with the ranking up system, some sort of system where once you've ranked up a certain amount, you also get certain payoffs. Now I don't think you should anything like, oh, once you're level 20 you always spawn with a gun, but I think that once you hit level 20 you can choose from more different outfits that your character wears. Maybe you can use a different style, like maybe when you first start off you can only either be a medic or a soldier, and then once you hit rank 20 then you can spawn as a crafting expert. It is very difficult to work out exactly how it would work, because then if you died, does all your progress go? Do you keep some of the stuff you've unlocked? I'm not sure, but for me, I like these ideas that I've come up with. Let me know what you think, and I'll end the video there, because I've waffled on quite a lot. It's quite a lot to take in, especially with YouTube videos these days. I don't think anyone will probably be watching by the end of this point, but I appreciate it if you had. Don't forget to smash the like button as well, and I'll see you guys in the next video.